pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roll with planet. Flight downside, speed off. Speed off.
Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these.
What's up, everybody? Man, as the time goes on, I really need to update that intro. We've got so much amazing footage and so many milestones that have occurred since that yikes, you bet, concur moment of SN1 doing its little pop there. But hey, let me know in chat you can hear me. I'm Jack Beyer, NASASpaceflight, commentator, photographer, videographer, streamer, whatever you want to call me. And we're here today with views from South Texas in Boca Chica, Starbase, Texas, I guess, whatever you want to call it. We're waiting on a potential another static fire of SN15. I'm joined today, as always, by Michael Baylor, running things in the background. What's up, Michael?
I am doing my best to get all these robots wrangled and online on short notice. It's kind of weird. I'll go to Mary's camera so you can see. But it looks like there is a white Tesla Model 3 kind of halfway up the highway.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw that and I thought, well, the pad is kind of not clear. I mean, the pad itself, like the inside the fence of the pad is clear. But for whatever reason, they have parked a Tesla halfway up the road. I'm not sure if there's somebody inside of that or not, but with that car there, we're not really expecting testing to start. And then clearly, as you can see on your screen, we have recondenser activity. We also have tank farm activity. So I will progress our timeline, but it definitely looks like they are pushing forward for another static fire test with Starship SN15 this evening in Boca Chica.
Although, yeah, like you said, I'd be pretty shocked if they did a static fire with that Tesla there. Maybe it would vacate at the 10-minute mark or something like that. But interesting that it's there, and yet the recondenser is on.
Maybe they're just recording it with the cameras on the Tesla.
Yeah, it's like they put it in Sentry mode for an advertisement or something. Hey, not a bad idea. And also, that voice you hear is Stephen Marr. What's up, Stephen?
Man, it has been such a busy day. We had the Pegasus arrive with the SLS core stage, and now this. It's been a pretty good week. We launched Crew from the Cape this week. Of course, booster return a few days ago. Man, it has just been hopping.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, there's just no shortage of spaceflight events. I mean, you know, Michael and I were just at Delta Heavy yesterday, and the day before that setting up remotes. So, you know, no complaints. It's good to have a lot of activity going on in the spaceflight world, huh?
Yeah, and you guys got some great photos and video. Yeah, Michael has a video, I think, coming some point.
Yeah, some tracking video from Michael and I and some pad video from Jay and Michael. We just cut together into a highlight vid, which will be going live sometime in the next day or two. But yeah, that should be an exciting thing. And of course, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, definitely stay tuned and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like this video. We will have a daily video from Mary, of course, the other person on this stream who is bringing you cam reviews. Who lives out in Boca Chica, the original Boca Chica gal. Now, yeah, again, we'll have a daily video today as well in addition to this, so keep your eyes open for that with developments around the launch site. But this camera view you see right here is from Mary. So she rolled out there and spooled up a camera for us so that we can have multiple excellent angles of this potential static fire test today. So you guys know the deal with the static fire test. We wait until we see tank farm activity to go live. I'm sorry if you can hear that. His dog is doing its classic dog wag thing, you know, where they flap their ears and do a little shake. She's like, "Take me outside." Anyways, pets.
I thought you just hit the jackpot on a slot machine or something.
I mean, hey. So yeah, we will wait. We waited for tank farm activity to start up. Tank farm activity has started up, and we are into the testing flow for today. So the next step we would expect to see is maybe a little bit of frosting, either on the nose cone or the main body, or one or the other or both. And we would see some condensation there on the left side of the screen coming from underneath the vehicle as that aft bulkhead, think of it as a big bowl of liquid oxygen, fills up and condensates because liquid oxygen, hey, guess what, is really cold. Don't stick your hand in liquid oxygen. Don't try and drink it. It would be bad. So yeah, that's what we're looking for next is a little bit of activity from the vehicle, and we will progress into fueling ops hopefully here shortly. But like we were talking about a few moments ago, interesting that Tesla is there. We'll just have to see if it moves or what the deal is.
Yeah, can you tell just by where it is? I mean, because there could be some like forced perspective there. How close is that Tesla, dude?
Pretty close.
Is it? Okay, because I know you know the layout pretty well. You've been out there a bunch, so.
I'd say under a mile.
Oh.
But yeah, it is a little bit tricky. A little bit tricky to get a feel of where things are. Cameras can play tricks on us, as you know, so I could be wrong. Always like to hedge a little bit.
It does look like some venting underneath there already.
Taking a
You
look,
guys see
yeah.
that on the left side there.
Yep, I would agree. That is indicative of that aft bulkhead, like I was saying, being full of liquid oxygen, which means fueling is underway, which is a good thing as they progress into a static fire test. So, I think we have a prediction from Adrian, the spreadsheet wizard. If you guys know, Adrian has analyzed, I want to say dozens? Yeah, dozens of these static fires and similar tests of Starship. Pulled all that data into a spreadsheet, and from that spreadsheet and from his data, we are able to extrapolate predictions. Like to underscore, these are predictions based on past observations, but hey, that's science, right?
Right.
But we're able to extrapolate predictions for when T0 would be. So today, based on recondenser startup and the flow that we are seeing, Adrian is telling us that we have a predicted T0 from between 6:35 to 6:45 local. So just about 30 minutes or so, somewhere around 30 minutes from expected or predicted ignition. But good to note that these are predictions, but typically that's what we would see. That tracks with recondenser start being about 40 to 50 minutes from T0. So everything is lining up Millhouse. They're coming up Millhouse. There we go. There's a Simpsons reference for you. So don't forget, if you have any questions, plop them into the chat with @NASASpaceflight, and we can get more easily see them with the software that Michael has written up. So if you have any questions, throw them in chat. We will try to answer some of those, and let's see, populate the queue a little bit. Steven.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up already. We'll hit some of these super chats so we don't get too far
go
behind.
for it.
Musical Wolves with super chat: is Starship now funded on pure tax due to SpaceX being chosen for the lunar landing system for NASA? I know that the answer is no, because SpaceX is still pumping their own money into it, and I think that was kind of one of the sweet deals about Starship, right? That
Yeah,
SpaceX was investing so much of their own money already into it.
Yeah, I forget the exact wording, but there was something like that in the award where it was like, SpaceX is going to do a significant amount of the development of Starship and Super Heavy on their own anyways, and use that for other payloads. So that is, something that, NASA doesn't have to fund the entire development of the system. They only have to fund a piece of it, which, yeah. So I would say no, Starship is not funded on pure tax, not even close, because SpaceX is dumping a bunch of money of their own into the system.
Right. Yeah.
And there's also, if you remember, there's the Dear Moon thing with Yusaku Maezawa, where they're going to fly a mission around the moon, and I believe there's some sort of investment that Yusaku has made or is making. I'm not quite sure how that exactly termed out.
They were kind of vague about it when they announced it, but it was that he was going to put some money into Starship.
Yeah, and I believe Elon made comments about it being a significant amount of money, like in the order. I don't think he said billions, but I think based on comments, it was inferred that it was in the billions amounts of dollars. But I don't know if that's accurate. Again, like you said, they've been pretty vague about all that. But point being, no, not funded on pure tax. But good question from Musical Wolves and slash super chat. Thank you, Musical Wolves.
Yeah, and then we have Nick Salve with a $10 super chat. So happy to hear y'all again. Well, we're happy that you are here with us again. Brady Gaming with a super chat. Tesla lost a tire, and that's why it's there. I don't know. Do you have any way to confirm that? I don't know. We have a new member, Sean M. Thank you so much for the membership. Matthew Reed with just the super chat. There you go. Awesome. Appreciate that. Let's see. Pandas 213. Did FAA approve SN15 yet? Do we know?
I don't know, but I don't think so. I feel like we would have heard it from, Christian Davenport or the various usual suspects on Twitter who have sources. So the fact that we have not yet heard that FAA has granted clearance leads me to believe that they have not yet granted clearance, but that's sort of speculation on my part. What do you think?
Well, I don't think it usually comes until like the day before. Like right? It's not like weeks ahead of time or anything like that.
I think it can be relatively early. I'm trying to think to SN11. I think it got clearance relatively quickly after 10, but I could be misremembering there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It varies a lot.
Go ahead. Oh, it varies. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm thinking of the temporary flight restrictions or the FAA approval. But because I usually let you guys follow that stuff. I just sit back and watch.
It's like reading tea leaves. But yeah, so that would be my inkling, is that the FAA has not yet approved. But thank you, Pandas, for the support.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean there's anything to worry about. It just means that it hasn't happened yet.
Yep, government bureaucracies.
Yeah, it takes a while sometimes. Slawn Nerd with €5. Thank you very much for that. Taylor Van Camp. I like this. What's up, NSF and Mary? Thanks for the stream. Hashtag Jack Fan Club. Hashtag Steven Fan Club. I got my own hashtag.
You got it, buddy. You made it. You're there.
I'm there. Yeah, thanks for that support.
There's the
Appreciate
methane
it.
vent on Mary's camera on the right. You can see that happening.
Oh, man, we're just progressing. This might just go right on through.
Yeah, that's what it sure seems like.
Yeah.
You can see before we switched cameras. My bad. There's a significant amount of condensation coming from the skirt area, from that underneath the Starship where the engines are. There, you can see it right there from Danger Cam on the left. I mean, definitely well into fueling, and again with the methane vent, that's the next step after this, is that we would expect to see, is we get condensation of the skirt, we get the methane vent, we get the engine chill vents, or the tri vents, which I think are coming up next. And we after the tri-vent, we see the tri-vent exhibit certain behaviors, like a pulse, I think about 20 seconds before, and then the high pressure pulse from the tri-vent right at T0. So a lot to look up for, but we are, like you said, Stephen, progressing rapidly down this rabbit hole of static fire.
Yeah. Continuing down the list, Drawn with super chat. Thank you for your amazing work. Go SN15. Go Starship. That's right. Rockwell. Let's see. Here we go. We're watching a marvel of coordination between Starship production, multiple construction projects, and flight tests. Any thoughts on which one you think is the dominant group?
Which group are we talking here? Like, are we talking different space companies, or are we talking like the different priorities listed at SpaceX? Is it Starship production that's dominant, or the construction crews that are dominant, or is it the flight test? I don't know. I'm not sure I understand the question, but either way, Thank you for the support, Rockwell. Maybe at me in chat, and I'll see if I can better understand what you're asking there.
Right. And we do have a couple new members. Daniel, thank you very much for the membership, and Richard as well. Thank you very much for that membership. And let's see, Tamir Heyman, $5. Thanks for covering day after day. Yeah, it is. It's an ongoing thing. I'm not usually here for it, but it amazes me too how much coverage these folks are able to do. Let's see. Okay, John Noble with a question. Sorry, noob here. Would you tell me what Starship that new nose cone will belong to? Oh yeah, and yeah, I was thinking maybe we should talk about that. Jack, what do you know about the one with the scaffolding all around it?
I think that was SN
12.
What is it? SN12. Yeah, thank you. SN12's nose cone, and SN12, 13, and 14 were scrapped. that's how we went from 11 to 15 in one go, because they were building parts for 12, 13, and 14, but again, those parts were scrapped. So that SN12 nose cone, instead of being installed on a vehicle, has been installed in a test cell and will be tested in some way, shape, form, or manner. I don't think we quite know the specifics of what they're looking to test with that, but clearly it's a system sort of like those thrust rams that we see on the cryoproofs for starships. So maybe it's for... Oh, dogs. Sorry, hang on. Yeah, so maybe it's for some sort of cryo-proof test of that nose cone. And I'm going to be off comms intermittently here while dogs freak out for about a minute and a half.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's go back into the queue here. Nick Salve also he wanted to circle back and say also Michael fan club. So you got you one too, Michael.
Thank you for the support. I appreciate it.
Wes Irvin says Snacks Fund. Thank you very much. Justin Nartker just says thanks, guys, and thank you. Couple new memberships, Nathan Steer and Kelsey Riano. Thank you very much for the support. Now into just the regular queue with the @NASASpaceflight. You probably have already said, which I don't think we have, but why the second static fire? Michael, you want to comment on that? Do we know why we're going through another static fire today?
Yeah, so this static fire today is not a sign of a problem with yesterday's static fire. They were planning to do 2 static fires. One was the standard 3-engine static fire test that they do to make sure that the vehicle is ready for flight, and the one you're seeing today is what they sometimes call like a risk reduction test, where it's not necessarily absolutely required for flight, but it is something that they like to do just to make sure, as a further risk reduction, especially if the upgrades to SN15, that everything is working as they expect it to. So we expect the static fire today to be from the header tanks. At least that is what we've heard, but plans always change ubiquitica, so I'm not going to, say too definitively what the test is going to be, but more than likely you will see a test from the header tanks today, and it is unclear as to how many engines they're going to use. It could be all 3, it could be 2, it could be just 1. Everything's up in the air, but we have this super close danger cam, so we should get a good view of how many Raptors ignite.
Yeah. I'm hoping that, like, in the first few frames, like, before the screen fills up with exhaust, maybe we can actually see the flame coming out of the engine there, or engines. Let's see. Okay, we've got another super chat. Can confirm from other Boca media outlets Tesla lost oh, so that's for real? It lost a tire. Rescued by the sheriffs. Okay, so there's nobody in the car. That's good, because we don't want them that close. Something driving by there.
They are not hearing that audio. I should have told you that, but
Oh.
they were about to hear that audio. I'm working on getting us some more audio feeds online. I was testing it in our ears, but not their ears. But Here you go. Here comes Mary's audio as well. I'm piping that in too. Well, the other microphone is having some issues, so I am bringing in that audio, because what better than redundancy?
Yeah. Okay, another one from the @NASASpaceflight queue. Road closure is only for another 100 minutes, so they must have to be fairly swift moving. Well, I mean, once they've started, like Michael said, or was it Jack? I don't know. We were talking about the spreadsheet, and typically when the recondenser starts up, ignition is about 40 minutes or so later. And look at all this venting happening underneath. Activity's picking up here.
Yeah, that looks like it's coming from directly underneath, not an engine to vent, if I'm seeing that correctly.
It sort of looks like that like ground side vent that we saw. What was that?
Yeah.
I forget when that was. Was that whatever previous test that was?
The proof test, I think.
Thank you. Yeah, and we got a predicted T0 from Adrian, 6:34:50, which would
Oh,
be in under 10 minutes.
yeah. Oh, great. This might be just a jump in, jump out kind of stream. Just get it done.
Do the hokey pokey and jump and shoot it into space. I don't know.
Hop yourself, hop yourself
Yeah.
around.
Hop yourself about. That's way better. Yeah, way better, Steven. Thank you.
Let's see. Oh wait. Oh, I don't know. Oh yeah, we did answer that. Yeah. Yeah. So they're not necessarily swift moving right now. They're moving at the normal pace, it seems. But yeah, thank you for the question. Super chat from David. Best show since Flash Gordon. That's true. Let's see. All right, let's see. Super chat from Henry Coleman. Good evening, NSF. This may have been asked before, but if SN15 lands successfully, what is the plan for it going forward? Do they plan to reuse it? I'm not sure we know. Any comments on that, y'all?
I think they would just go straight to, whatever next vehicle they want to test is. I'm not sure that they would refly it, but certainly that's one of the milestones to look out for as they continue down this test campaign, is what Starship will be the first one to fly more than once.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want to do it again, but will it be SN15? That remains to be seen.
I think right now they're building Starships at such a rate, and they're improving each one more than the previous one. Even Starship to Starship, no Starship has been exactly the same as the one before it. There's always improvements, and we know SN15 in particular has a whole bunch of them, and it's sort of an even bigger jump than normal. But I think they've been building them so quickly that they're just unable. It wouldn't make sense for them to test one twice right now because they are already obsolete by the time they fly, if that makes any sense.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and Elon said that there were a plethora, basically. I don't think he used the word plethora, but a lot of upgrades with SN15. And,
and I think he said hundreds. And Mary is reporting on our back channel that the deputy is headed to the village, so maybe we'll be getting a siren, or maybe that is the equivalent of the siren. I think the siren's kind of been non-existent lately, if I'm not mistaken. It's sort of like the flare stack. It's a icon of a bygone era.
Right. Let's see.
If Adrian's prediction is right, we are about 5 minutes away from a static fire, or 6 minutes, sorry, which is wild. That would have been a really quick flow, but I don't want to predict the next 5 minutes. So that, again, prediction.
Well, then I guess we'll try to get through some of these super chats here. Brian Hubble, how's Starship held to the stand during static fire? And also, what % throttle and how long? Well, they have launch clamps, much like any launch pad in the world. With a large rocket like this, even though it produces thrust, you need you need it to stay down unless you want it to leave, right?
Yeah, I think it's like fully bolted to the pad right now. If I'm not, I don't know if the clamps release at launch or if they just unbolt it before launch. I'm not sure.
Oh, interesting.
And it's a good question about throttle percentage. I don't think we've ever gotten any kind of numbers on that, but typical static fires are usually a couple seconds long tops. Sometimes even just over a second.
Yeah,
so
maybe just enough to get up to full throttle, if that.
Yeah,
because
that would make
they're
sense.
pretty short.
So you can see on our timeline there, the next thing we are waiting to see is that engine chill vent start. That's a big vent towards the base of the vehicle. And once that happens, we're about 12 minutes away from the static fire. If SN15's countdown...
Did it just start as you said that?
Where?
It would be the dorsal side of the tri-vent, that one right there.
That's the spirit vent, I think.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, that one's been going for a minute.
Yeah, but I missed the SN15 static fire yesterday because I was out at the Delta 4 heavy launch with Jack. Well, I didn't miss it. I saw it happen on my phone, but I did not watch the entire stream. So let me know in chat if we saw any differences between that countdown and the normal countdowns we've seen as the previous static fires. Of course, SN15 has some upgrades, so perhaps there could be some changes, but If it goes how we've seen in the past, it should be about 12 minutes after that tri-vent or engine chill vent starts.
Yeah, so maybe I should message Adrian and see what his prediction is currently, given that we haven't seen Trivent start up yet, and like you said, that's about 12 minutes out from a T0 typically. But I was also, like you said, in the field yesterday and didn't see yesterday's static fire, so I think Trivent still exists, and I think we would expect to see it. So keep your eyes open. Really quickly, go ahead.
Chat quickly saying they did not see the spurt on the tri-vent right before ignition like we've seen in the past, so I'm not sure if that was just, wasn't as apparent yesterday or if that was an actual change, but we'll keep an eye on it, and if we'll get some more data today, I guess, no matter what.
Got it. Yeah, and Mary's saying the deputy is back, but she did not hear the siren. So interesting data point there.
Yeah, we did not see the tri-vent start yet, and the tri-vent starts at around 12 minutes usually, and the siren's supposed to at least happen at 10 minutes. So the deputy should sound the siren if they actually sound the siren again. They've been kind of inconsistent, but if the siren does happen, it should happen after the tri-vent, and we are not seeing the tri-vent / engine chill vent yet. So we'll keep an eye on that, and it's also possible they could be in a hold. They do sometimes have issues that come up that cause them to hold the countdown, and that can delay or even scrub the testing sequence.
Really quickly, some super chats here. Ben Blackburn, thank you for the $20. They say I don't know why. Oh, let's see. Asking about, let's see. Sorry, IR Geek with a $20 super chat. Say, love how you cats enrich the experience with your education and general commentary. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, IR Geek. You're helping us do what we do with an enormous contribution of $20. And Occupy Mars, thank you for the $50. It's super kind of you. What refurbishment process will Starship avoid that Falcon 9 had to do? That is a really good question. I'm not quite sure I can answer that one, though. Michael, do you have any comments there? Or maybe we should save this one until we are not quite so imminent to a static fire. Definitely want to show Occupy Mars some love for the $50.
I mean, definitely with I think the pre-burners on the Merlin engines, they have problems with soot buildup from the kerosene, but Starship burns methane, which burns cleaner, so there should be less soot and whatnot to have to clean between flights. That's one thing that's been an issue on Falcon 9.
Yep, that makes sense.
And actually, Jack, Chris made a good point in our back channel. We do not know how many engines are going to fire today, which means if it's less than 3, we may not see a tri-vent. We may see a single vent or a bi-vent for the engine chill. So we should be careful here. We could see a static fire.
Right now is could that be the single tri-vent?
I think the one above is the normal skirt vent location, but I'm also seeing that I'm seeing a small vent on the right-hand side of the screen near that right aft flap. It does not seem like it has enough oomph coming out of it, to be the normal engine chill vent we see. So I'm not quite sure, but I mean, you never know. We've been caught off guard before, so we'll keep the cameras on Starship.
But yeah, Occupy Mars, definitely going to be a lot on Starship that's different refurbishment-wise than Falcon 9, and you can bet that, one thing is Starship avoids destroying its second stage every time it flies the rocket. The whole point of Starship is being a reusable second stage on top of a reusable booster. So I guess you're asking about Falcon 9, and I guess Falcon 9 includes second stage. How about that? I'm gonna go with that answer. Hopefully you like it, and thank you for the huge amount of support there.
Hey, that's good.
Pebmits, thank you for the $20. They say with the arrival of the SLS core stage at KSC today, I'm looking forward to a possible launch later this year. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I would be excited to see SLS launch, and I hope to see it with my own 2 eyes.
I like this question here, and I'm not sure if we're going to know how to answer it, but how will they detank the methane tanks after a Starship lands successfully? They cannot release methane into the atmosphere. Oh, do we know? Awesome.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
They're just going to crack the valves and vent it to the atmosphere. So typically you're not supposed to release methane into the atmosphere, but you can get as a company, I believe it's like an allowance or a certain amount of exemption, and as part of the process, when they land a Starship, as part of the safing process, they will just open up the valve to the LOX tank, open up the valve to the methane tank, and let all of that propellant boil off. Oh, look at
I
that
think what we
single vent.
have, yeah,
Yep,
we have a vent.
there's your mono vent.
Is that what this is? Yeah, that definitely, it looks like a
Yeah.
tri-vent -2.
So single engine static fire looks like, folks.
It's very kind of the wind to be blowing it in that direction. It would have been a little bit, it could have been harder to see. If, wind going a different direction. Was that a drone I saw flying around the base of the thing?
Yeah, look at that. Right in front of the plume right
It's
now.
right there, yeah.
That's wild.
So I wonder now if the single engine test changes the timeline at all, or if it's still going to be about 12 minutes until the static fire.
Yeah, good question. So yeah, Corey, they will crack the valves, release the oxygen and methane in the atmosphere. They can release a little bit. It's okay to release a little bit without flaring.
Yeah, and ideally, you're not going to be left with a bunch of fuel in the tanks anyway, once you land.
So about 12 minutes after that mono vent would be like 6:49-ish, right? Something like that. So we'll see what happens. I think they have the road closure until 8 p.m. local, so.
Yeah, there's still another hour and 20 minutes to go. Well, now, of course, the venting is being blown in such a way that we can't see underneath it.
Here, I'm going to run through some more of these super chats. Nicholas, thank you for the $20. Yeah, I think we all saw that tweet from Elon about Blue Origin.
Really quickly, Jack, there is some frost forming on the base there. So if they are doing a header tank static fire, they're at least practicing putting propellant in the main tanks. So we'll also see if the header tank shows any signs of venting or frost as well.
I always wondered, how do they get physically, what is the mechanism that puts the liquid oxygen into the header tank? Like, is there a pump on the vehicle somewhere that all it does is pump liquid oxygen from the main tank into the header? Or is it sort of like a pressure thing? Like when the main tank gets so full, it flows up a little side pipe, or like a level, once it gets to a certain height of liquid oxygen, it flows into like a side pipe or something that goes all the way up. I don't know. I'm very curious what the mechanism for that is, but
Really
yeah.
interesting question, though. You're saying this, I'm like, yeah, how do they get it up there?
I've always wondered that, so I would love to know.
I'd think that if there was a pump that was pumping it up there, that would be on the ground, right? Wouldn't that be part of the ground service?
And really
stuff?
quick, Mary's saying she hears a siren.
Oh, excellent.
I
we
can
hear
hear
it.
it. Yeah.
All right.
So 10 minutes. It is about 6:40 p.m. Central Time, so around 6:50 p.m. Central Time, plus or minus a minute or two, is when we can expect to see the static fire test.
Right on. Let's see. Here's another super chat from Aiden22. Will Lunar Starship and SLS ever be on the LC-39 pads at the same time? That is a good question. That would be a glorious photograph. I'd love to see SLS and Starship on their pads. For those that don't know, SpaceX has... Starship speaking to us. SpaceX uses LC-39A, but there's also LC-39B, and the space shuttle launched from both, and so did Saturn V. 39B has been cleared. It's what's called a clean pad now, and SLS will roll up onto that pad, and on the mobile launcher, with the tower. The tower is actually mounted to the mobile launcher, so it'll travel to the pad all integrated fully like that. But yeah, that would be super awesome to see Starship and SLS ready to go to the moon. But I don't know if they would, because I'm pretty sure when Lunar Starship starts going, it has to launch, and then there's of course, a couple days to get to the moon, and then there's a few days or so, I can't remember how many they said, but of checking out Starship before they ever launch the crew to actually go meet up with Starship.
Yeah, that would make sense. Either way, what a photo. That would be amazing. Do we have
that'd be
two of the tri-vents going, or is that the one vent going around the side of the vehicle right
I
now?
think we have 2 right now. Is that 2?
It looks
Does
like
look
two.
like two.
So maybe it's 2 engines. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
I don't think it's a third though. They're definitely not a third. I can go around to different angles and we can try to see. You can definitely see from that angle that that is a separate vent.
Yeah.
We can go back to Mary's camera as well. Also, I'm not seeing that third vent in the middle, so maybe it's a 2-engine test. We'll know for sure when a static fire happens and we see what danger cam sees, I guess.
Yeah, this is exciting. I mean, just anything that's like a variation from the norm is always exciting.
Yep, and they, keeps us on our toes.
Yeah.
Chris K, thank you for the $5. I'm not quite sure what you're asking there about Danger Cam getting a rotation, but thank you for the $5. Danger Cam lives on. Some say it's immortal, but we're not going to go that far. Wayne Fox, thank you for the $4.99. Levi, thank you for the $5. They say one Starship's fully stacked. Will they need to pre-chill the engine in the second stage before lighting the Raptors? If so, is that unique to Starship? I don't know if that's unique to Starship. I think all second stage engines kind of go through like a chill process before starting up. You don't want an engine to go from hot to cold to hot. You want it to perform under expected conditions and not sort of just jar it thermally.
Yeah, I know during a Falcon 9 launch, you do hear a call out that
Yep.
second stage engine chill has begun. So
Yep.
yeah, I would guess that would be something that they would carry on with Starship.
Yep, good call. Thank you for the support there, Levi. Dan, thank you for the support. Asking if I'm in Boca Chica yet. Hopefully on Thursday I can shave when it lands. That's a thing I know, I guess, that I'm going to shave my beard when it lands.
Did you ever say that?
I sort of tacitly kind of maybe said it.
Implied it.
I mean, I'm kind of ready to shave the beard anyways, so and start anew. Sometimes you got to go scorched earth or scorched chin, I suppose. So yeah, hopefully it lands and we can shave this baby off.
The nose cone is venting, so there is propellant, presumably, in the nose cone as well. That would be the liquid oxygen header tank in the nose cone.
Good eye.
And then the CH4 header tank is within the bottom of the methane tank. So this could be any of the options for static fire, but we did hear it was supposed to be a header tank static fire. But there is clearly frost on the liquid oxygen tank, so they may just be doing a normal propellant loading sequence and then using the header tanks for the static fire, or it could be a handoff test where they start the main tanks and then go to the header tanks. I'm not quite sure, but the most likely scenario is a header tank static fire from what we understand.
With other header tank static fires, have we seen the frost line on the bottom?
Yes, I think so. And also on yesterday's test, people were wondering if it was a header tank static fire because we only saw frost on the nose cone, not the main tanks. But there have been static fires in the past where we didn't see frost on either tank, just because they did not fill up the tanks past their lower bulkhead. So my general rule is do not put too much weight into the frost. I mean, if you see the frost line, it means there is propellant in that tank. But if you don't see the frost line, it does not necessarily mean there is absolutely nothing in that tank, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Especially on those main tanks, because they have a large bulkhead at the bottom that can have a lot of propellant in it without, being filled enough to start reaching the sides of the tank. So frost is not always a super accurate indicator as to whether or not there's stuff in that tank. I think venting is usually more accurate. But the siren was at 6:40 p.m. Central Time, so probably about 4 minutes away from the static fire test, assuming the siren went on time.
Yeah, Adrian is predicting 6:49.
That's within the margin of error for the siren, so.
But yeah, really quickly, Dan, I am not in Boca Chica yet. Thank you for the support, and I don't know what's going to go into the high bay next, and yeah, so thank you for that. Thank you everybody so much for all of your support. Data ain't cheap. We've got a lot of camera angles pushing a lot of pixels, and we got stuff in the works too. So thank you so much for the support, because you're helping bring this and these views to people around the world, which is awesome. Ron Gum, thank you for the $20. They say thank you for your efforts to record history as it happens. Love your dedication across the board. Please do not stop. History will not wait. I couldn't agree more, Ron. Thank you for the support there. $20 is a huge amount of money, and I agree. We are at a unique moment in history, and there's no waiting around for this moment to continue, because it's only going to last for so long, and it's right now. Taylor Van
Cool.
Camp with the Michael Fan Club, $2. I mean, sign me up. I'm in the Michael Fan Club. Thank you, Taylor.
And I
Nick
think
Salve, go for it.
really quick, Jack, I think we can see some frost forming on that nose cone header tank.
Yeah, and it's venting like crazy, so that makes sense.
Really
As it
quickly.
makes a cool vent sound right
You
on
can see it
cue.
pretty good from the village angle. But I'll go back before chat yells at me. Chat loves its danger cam and Mary side by side. I think it looks amazing too. So
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is great.
Yep. I'm a big fan of Danger Cam.
Should we be holding tight, waiting, or should we keep
yeah,
pulling
we're coming
some
up on the
questions?
window, so I'm gonna take us full screen on danger because I think that's what chat is going to ask me to do. We cannot go side by side, unfortunately, for the static fire because the camera is a slightly different latency, so it would look crazy. But we're gonna take a look, watch for that skirt to dump some propellant as the Raptors spool up, and we will do our best to not talk over the audio as it happens. Well, it sounded like the microphone got taken out a bit by that
Yeah, or just like
fire
overloaded or
up,
something.
but that
Yeah.
did not look like a full duration test, did it? I don't know, it's hard to tell.
Could have been just a single engine,
Yeah, it might have been a single engine, that might have been it.
but it was really short either way.
I think we're still getting some of the audio bits coming back from the Raptor. The signal does not like that Raptor engine, I don't think. But to go back underneath Starship with the dust now cleared, no fires or anything under the vehicle, so that's a good sign. Chat saying they... I'm going to go back and watch that before I make any more comments.
Yeah,
I did
that's
not
what
have
I'm
my
doing,
eyes
too.
fully on the stream because I was watching for any other. Yeah, there was some drops of something coming out. I don't know if it was molten metal or what, but could have been rocks that got kicked up. But I did see. I'm watching the replay right now. It did look like there were some chunks of something falling. Just rewind your stream if you want to see it again. That angle is pretty cool from this spot. We haven't seen a depress yet, though.
Yeah, we did see a really large vent from the LOX tank, but we haven't seen that double vent from both the LOX tank and the methane tank, which would be sustained and would be indicative of depressurizing the vehicle. So I'm inclined to believe that was a good static fire, but it was short. It was very short. Let's see. Adrian Foster, thank you for the 10 pounds. WB Hokey 13, thank you for the $20. Yes, we referenced Hokey Pokey. Astro Kiwi, thanks for the new membership. Don't forget, we've got the membership program. You can support us on a monthly basis if that's something you so choose, and get cool perks like a Discord access for Capcom and above, members chat emoji that you can only use if you're a member, and preview videos and other cool stuff like that. So thanks to all of our members. Scott G, another new membership.
Yeah, I went back and I see the stuff falling out of it after ignition. I don't know what it's supposed to look like from this angle.
Yeah, we'll continue to work on that experimental microphone that apparently had a panic attack when the static fire happened. We knew there were some issues with it, but we decided to risk it because the other option is we hear the sounds, 7 seconds later when it reaches Mary. But we will continue to work on our equipment, and there's so many things you can do with this amazing camera angle that SpaceX has so graciously let us to set up, because like I said before, I don't think there's any other launch provider in the world that actually fully appreciates the value of having the public get excited about what you're doing quite as much as SpaceX does. So we really appreciate SpaceX letting us put a camera here.
Yeah, no kidding.
I still can't even believe it, to be honest. I don't think I ever will. But definitely see frost on that header tank, definitely see frost on that main tank, and I think we only saw one Raptor spool up. It was really hard to tell. It could have been an abort, so I'm not sure if it was only supposed to be one Raptor or what, but maybe Elon will tweet something to give us a better idea of what the test was supposed to be today, because like I said, I know we heard it was supposed to be a header tank test, but beyond that, I'm not really sure what the plan was.
Yeah, interesting.
And there's no way to really judge based on what we saw if that was a header tank or the main tank, right?
Yeah, nope. Some people in chat say it was 2 Raptors, so I'm going to have to see what I can see. And unfortunately, the dust gets picked up so quickly, it's hard to tell. You have a couple of frames before you can no longer see the Raptors, so we have lots of camera angles. We also had the beach camera. We, of course, had Mary's cameras running. We had BCV bot in the village. So we're going to have all our clips put together into our static fire highlight video on our YouTube channel, as we usually do. So stay tuned for that. We'll get a lot more videos and angles on this test for you shortly, so you can do your own analysis and try to predict what happened today.
Or we could just do a frame-by-frame replay right now if you want.
Oh, we can do that too.
That's fine.
Hello, Doss.
Hi, Doc. Hey, how's it going, y'all? Michael, if you just show the presentation source on that global source, I've got it up on the screen right now.
1 second. I want to... Is it full screen or what? Like, how is it the full screen presentation?
No, it should be pretty close to cropped correctly.
Okay, I'm going to check that out. I do want to make sure we have some area of the screen that has the live picture. Well, this is still an active vehicle. Just because you never know what can happen.
Yeah, the normal thing just has it in the middle of the screen for the replay. So
yeah, I'm going to.
That's cool that you can see the vapors coming off of the frost ring.
Yeah.
Like, we've never seen that before, but look at that from Danger Cam. You can see just vapor falling off the frost. That's really cool.
You gonna run through some super chats while we're getting the replay spool?
I think I'm pretty well. Yeah, do a couple of questions. I'm almost ready.
Here we got one from someone named TG Mets Fan 98. And they're asking why we hate Ares 1. It's because it's a dumb rocket, and anyone that likes Ares 1 should feel bad.
Jeez.
That's not what I asked, Jack.
Did you just super chat and then join the screen?
He's been waiting. He's been waiting patiently to do that.
Jeez.
Good stuff. Let's see. Bye, Thomas. Dennis says, if SN15 fails, Can you foresee revisiting the current Starship landing concept altogether? No, I don't think so. I think they'll just build another one and test another one.
Yeah, I
What do you
think
guys think?
eventually, I think they'll get it eventually. I know, Elon was sort of musing about, possibly doing like the tower catch, sort of like what he's talked about with Super Heavy. But it seems like this is the method that they're going to go with. They would have to change an awful lot, right? If they were going to change that, well, I guess you'd still need your wings, because you'd still want to be able to control yourself coming down in the atmosphere. I don't know. I don't think they will. I think we're still too early in the development phase for them to give up on the flip.
Agree.
And we are ready for the replay if you want to do that, Doc.
Yeah, I'm ready as soon as I see it on the preview.
There you go.
Oh, look at you. There it is. Let me crop it correctly there. So the picture-in-picture there is the replay, and I'm just going to play it at normal speed first. So you can watch. You know what's going to happen when you get the big dump from the skirt, right there. And then I'm also going to go back and frame by frame it. Let's do regular mode one more time.
Full screen replay. Full screen replay.
That
It's
really
little-
looks like one engine to me.
I don't know,
too.
Michael. Look, hang on a second. Let's
Really?
go up. Yeah, watch. Let's go up until we see the dump. I'm just try. Okay, there's the dump starts, and we'll
Okay.
do frame by frame. Just a big dump.
You've already seen it, so you're cheating. You're telling me I'm
I
wrong.
have.
but
I
you've
am
already
cheating.
seen it.
It's true. Such a cheater. But let's see here. It looks like it's trying to light there. Like it's got a color to it, and then all of a sudden, there's one engine for sure, right?
Yeah.
And it shows up nice and level. That looks like another engine comes online.
To the right?
To the right.
To the right of the first one.
Because I'm looking at the railing, and two distinct areas of the railing have very bright lights directly behind them. I don't know.
We're gonna need the beach angle, I think, for additional analysis. I think the beach angle should be good too.
It's just here. I'm step by step it one more time.
Chat, let us know in chat what you think. 1 or 2 Raptors. It definitely was not 3. I think we can say 3 is out of the question. And we
Three
didn't
is right
see-
out.
We
3
didn't
is
say
right out.
tri-event, so I mean, based on the event thing, you would think 2, but it's possible 1 did not start up properly. I don't know.
There you got that orange color underneath, like it's trying to light or something. That's definitely one engine right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it resolves down to a point of flame.
Chat is completely torn for what it's worth.
Yeah, it does look like another source of light.
It looks like another source of light to the right. I mean, right here.
Yeah.
Something very bright right behind that railing. I mean,
But
let's go back.
you don't see the vapors come out first unless that's just obscured by the other Raptors starting up. I don't know.
You know what it also could be? There's a pillar back here. And if
Oh,
that
yeah.
pillar is reflecting that light, that could be what seems to be blowing out the railing
Yeah, that
right
might be
there.
it.
That might be it. I'm going to frame by frame it one more time. It's not like before because the last time we saw it, remember, it was 3 frames. It was 3 tenths of a second in between each. Well, the frame is a tenth of a second. What do we do the math on that? It's 30 frames per second, and so each frame was how much?
1/30th of a second.
1/30th of a second. Thank you, Jack.
Good job,
Oh, and
Jack.
3 frames is 1/10th of a second. That's where we got that number from.
Oh, there you go.
So it was 1/10 of a second in between Raptor firings. So we'll say there's 1, and then it's 1, 2, 3 frames. There's not anything else appearing in the 3rd frame. This is the 4th frame. Oh! The 4th frame, it gets a lot brighter on the 4th frame. And
But
that
you
just
never
may
see
be,
the dump.
You don't
You
see
know,
a
like-
bump on the right. It just looks like
Yeah.
a cloud blowing to the right, kind of.
It could just
I
be
don't
dust
know.
getting kicked up.
How many frames of the dump
See-
are there? Because you would think that you would start to see the other one do the dump.
okay.
Isn't there
before the ignition.
isn't there like 2 or 3?
It's going to be hard for me to find that exactly. Let's see. I got to... Okay, there's...
Okay.
Let's say that's like 3 frames, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
9,
You should see
10.
another one dump, right?
I think so.
Unless they're like in line with each other. and it's being obscured. But I don't know what the orientation. Do you guys know what the orientation is from where we're looking?
The dump starts about 1 second before the ignition colors change. You see how there's a little bit of orange under there?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the little bit of orange. That was about 30 frames, and then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, 11, 12, 13. This is more than I thought. 14, 15, 16. So about a half second. It's like a second and a half from the first time we see the dump come down to the time we get the ignition, like the really bright actual engine ignition.
What about this other angle? Didn't Michael say he had the other angle?
Well, I don't know if
ready
you
to
have the replay yet.
I don't have the
What
replay
we do
of that one
have,
yet, yeah.
What we do have the replay of is this, the mods in chat could link Mary's Twitter. Mary has a video clip already tweeted with proper sound. And from the sound, people are saying it sounds like a single engine test from what I'm hearing. So
Okay.
go watch Mary's Twitter video. The mods will link it in chat for us in a second. And you can use that for some additional data. And make sure you follow Mary on Twitter while you're at it, of course.
The big thing that's getting me is that there is a clear increase in brightness 3 frames, 4 frames after the initial ignition. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's really obvious that, let's go back to there, play, watch for the dump, 1001. Okay, so here should be the ignition. There's one, I got it within 1 frame. How about that?
Wow, very nice.
So that's the ignition, and then you go 1, 2, 3. On the 4th frame, it gets really bright underneath there. I don't know. Huh.
I mean, there were two engine to events. So from that alone, you could make an argument that there was supposed to be 2 Raptors firing. But the question is, did 2 Raptors actually start up properly? I think that is more of a question.
Yeah. Anyways, we love doing this, like the frame-by-frame CSI NASA spaceflight or whatever here, but...
It's roadside rocket science at its finest.
See, and look, afterwards there's only 1 engine dumping here. They've just got my mouse on the screen right now, but if you look afterwards, you only see 1 sort of flow there, and then right there.
I think that's pretty good evidence for 1 engine right there.
Yeah.
And you can see the exhaust from the engine blows to the right. You can also see that from the plumes. So it might have just been the wind blew the dust to the right more than the left. I don't know. But you would think a Raptor thrust would kind of totally
Not care about
the wind. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it could go either way. We're just going to need Elon or somebody to tweet for us.
But that dump at the end really looks like 1 engine. So maybe it was supposed to be 1 engine. I don't know why. I don't know how you explain the second engine to event in that case, but we'll have to see how it plays out. The best indication we will see if Elon does not tweet is that if they do the test again, something went wrong. If they do not do the test again, it went well. So we'll find out.
Yeah.
The road closure is till 8 p.m., so...
Well, it wouldn't be today, but it could be tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, how soon we'll have to see a depress vent here.
Yeah, we still haven't seen that.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that, and we usually see the depressed vent kind of... If they do a detanking, we see a lot of depressing at the end, but I think what you're getting at, Jack, is we often see some depressing right after the static fire, right?
Yeah, exactly, and we have not seen that this time. We saw a little bit of venting from the LOX tank, but I think that's it. Unless I missed it.
Yeah, it was only a few seconds. I wasn't counting, but it wasn't as long as what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, and there's normally little vents like that, but yeah, they're separate and distinct from a depress vent, like you said, it's sustained.
Yeah.
John, thank you for the new membership. Nubiota, thank you for the $15. They say, how far will 15 go up this time? I don't know. I mean, I assume it's going to go the same height as all the previous ones except for 8, which is 10 kilometers. I don't think we've heard any updates on that. Pedmets, thank you for the $10. Talking about the shuttle's gaseous oxygen vent, aka the beanie cap. One of my favorite space things. To keep oxygen vapors from condensing and forming ice. Is ice not as much a concern as Starship as it is with shuttle? That's a good question. I mean, Starship. I don't know. That's a good question for Chris B. Maybe I'll post that in our back channel and see what he has to say. I guess it would make sense that ice wouldn't be such a big problem for Starship, given that Starship isn't side-mounted on a vehicle, and therefore the vehicle it's not mounted on the side of can't shed ice onto its thermal protection system. If shuttle had been mounted on the top of the stack, big difference in the whole foam shedding external tank ice shedding problem. So maybe that's part of it. Thank you for the support there, buddy. That's my cruddy speculation guess there. Javier,
Well,
thank you for the. Go for it.
I just learned something. I didn't know. I knew about the beanie cap, but I didn't know that that's what it did. That it protected it from all that ice forming.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily know that either, but that makes sense. Javier, thank you for the $5. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Smoke? I don't think so. Let's see. Matt, thank you for the $5. They say don't stay up all night, Chris. Big time meeting tomorrow. Chris K, thank you for the $5, asking about Danger Cam rotating again. Did I just not click that one before?
No, I think what they're asking is, can Danger Cam PTZ, and SpaceX has said that any camera placed there with their permission is not allowed to PTZ. So
Makes sense.
I think that's what they're asking about. Could Danger Cam rotate? I think the same person tweeted at me as well. But we have a couple approved shots that we can show, and based on our agreement with SpaceX, we're not allowed to just point it around willy-nilly everywhere we want. That's the rule if you want to have a camera in there. And if you're acting in good faith, you follow the rules that SpaceX asks, so that's what we try to do. And by the way, I have a replay from the beach that I would like to show y'all.
Yes.
I will.
Oh, he's laughing like he knows he's right or something.
No, just additional information that we can peruse as part of the stream here. That's all it is.
Give me 1 second. I want to I want to get the overlay, or not the overlay, the presentation set up on a different camera, because the replay on the beach camera is going to be just not visually
It's going to be
appealing.
weird because it's the beach and the beach, yeah.
Give me 1 second. I am wrangling robots into position to do what I want.
Yeah, and Chris B saying that ice was a major problem for shuttle. They had a final inspection team check for large ice buildup on the external tank ahead of launch, because it was a debris threat for orbiter. So yeah, I'm glad I was right about that. You don't want ice shedding and then hitting the orbiter and its fragile thermal protection system. And Starship, even though it does have thermal protection tiles, will be at the top of the stack, and therefore not next to something that can shed ice and damage it.
Go. I am making progress.
Nick, thanks for the $5. Talking about space in the nose cone. I think it's got like space for like 20 tons of LOX or something like that. Like, it's pretty significant. Even though it's a tiny little tank, Starship is big, so therefore it's a big tank.
Okay, I have it up, DOS. I'm not seeing the video.
What's up, DOS?
Yeah. I was there you go.
Okay, and let's hope this works. There you go.
Aha. All right, so this is from the beach angle, and I'm going to play it in real time a couple times here. Did y'all see that? Again.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I was fixing something, and I clicked
Look,
wrong. But there you go.
One more time. That's the replay in the picture-in-picture, y'all. Do y'all see what I'm seeing?
No. No, I don't. I'm trying. I'm looking as hard as I can.
There are two distinct clouds that come out. There's a big initial cloud, and then there's a secondary burst that comes out.
I see that, yes. I do.
That's what I'm looking at. Because it's like, stand by. There's the dump. Bam, bam.
Uh-huh.
Do y'all see that?
No.
It looks like the cloud to the right gets a little extra velocity behind it.
Like a tenth of a second after the first thing. It's like bam, bam.
It's hard to tell though if it's just like that's like pressure building up and it's like it's got to go. It's got to go somewhere fast.
And there is a berm on the right that's going to kick stuff up.
look, that's the first, right? Or that is maybe the only one, the only one. But look, you get a big. There's the dust initially going out to the sides.
Yeah.
Now I wonder if I don't see it when I'm stepping through it one thing at a time.
No.
I think that might be VLC. Look, the VLC looks like it's messed up because it's all pixelated.
Yeah.
So hard to tell.
Maybe it's just the lighting and it clears a structure or something that makes it look like a secondary plume of dust. See, now I'm even not convinced. I thought I saw something, and then I watch it again and again, and it's like, well, I don't know.
And then, well, look at that part. Okay, so right there at the end, you see it flaming out.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just coming from one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I have a theory too now.
What do you think?
This does not have to do with the engines, but Jack, you know how we were talking about we did not see the depress in the main tanks?
Yes.
I'm wondering if the main tanks were not pressurized to flight pressures, because we only see a lot of venting from the from the liquid oxygen header tank right after the static fire. This is a complete speculative theory. I have no idea, but watch the header tank right after the static fire ends.
Oh, you want me to play it again?
Yeah, keep playing it. There, you can see the venting.
Yeah.
from the header
Oh,
tank.
yeah.
You can see a lot of venting from the header tank, and so maybe it didn't need a main tank depress, huh?
But then it stopped right there. But it is a much smaller tank, so it's not going to take as long to depress.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
again, we did hear it was supposed to be a header tank static fire. So to me, that kind of aligns. So we see the header tank get depressed right after the static fire.
Yeah. That does make sense.
And
Anyways, again, y'all, it's fun for us to look through this stuff. And Michael, you can switch it off the replay. It's fun to look through this and to sort of guess, like, oh, was there one or two? It's not official. We're not even official. We're not officially speaking for SpaceX or anything like that. We are just enthusiastically looking at the footage and sort of guessing what we think or don't think that our eyes saw. But we all know how inaccurate eyewitness testimony is. That's why we put it out there for you. And it probably, most likely, it was one, because yesterday, when we had that static fire yesterday, it was very clearly two distinct plumes that were obvious. And it wasn't until the third engine fired up that the dust sort of obscured the clean flame point of that third engine. But yesterday, when we saw that, it was very, very obviously two very distinct plumes that came out, you know?
Maybe we could get one of these robots to have like engine settings, like exposure settings. so whenever it hits real bright, it'd be like we can actually see
one
the
robot.
definition.
We need the engine shot robot, Steven, and then we need the normal robot.
Yeah.
We
One
could set
robot.
a static robot zoomed in on the engine and just like dump the exposure down or something, so it's super dark.
Yes.
Where you don't see anything until they ignite, but that's the part you want to see anyway.
I mean, I've got a
Sign
camera
me up
here
for
that-
this. I'm on board. I will lug whatever battery across whatever frozen tundra covered in
Oh,
spikes
whatever.
you want.
You
Miles
go back
after
truck at the
miles.
Danger cam. Jeez, it's not hard to deploy things at Danger cam, is it?
Uphill, both ways in the snow.
In the snow. More like in the raining stainless steel around Danger cam.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
But one way... Go ahead, Mike.
In good news, I was going to say, look at that heat shield tile. We can only see half of it from this angle, but it looks like
Yep.
the heat shield tile stayed on.
Did not fall off.
It's like on the thermal protection team engineer, like the lead engineer on his checklist. It's like, number 1, tiles did not fall off. Number 2, tiles did not crack. Number 3, tiles successfully prevented ablation of vehicle itself. So yeah, first step in the thermal protection system, not falling off, seems to have gone well.
It's got that going for it, which is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. The front did not fall off.
it's inside the environment right now.
Out there in the environment, nice. So, as usual, I wasn't talking on this stream because I was doing the other streams, but I guess I'm here now. So, as usual, we're sort of hanging out, waiting for something else to happen. Starship is still venting, and I believe the road is still closed. So what are they doing? Are they detanking? We didn't see the big depressurization, but maybe that's because the main tanks weren't fully pressurized. All sorts of different things there. Clearly, there was propellant or something in there because we got that frost line that we didn't see yesterday. We didn't see a frost line like that.
It's fading now, it looks like,
Yeah.
right?
It's definitely melting now, yeah.
And Mary is saying that some of the tiles were broken in yesterday's static fire. So
Really?
Yeah, right. I said the first step, not falling off, has been accomplished. I said nothing about the second step of not cracking.
Not cracking.
Yeah, that's an interesting, that's something that they're working on. Maybe a different material between the Starship itself and the tiles would solve that, or what's going on with that. And to that end, we have a $20 super chat that's 51 minutes old. Michael Kevin asking, what are the blankets beneath the TPS tiles made of? I don't think we know, but maybe they need to change that material so that they don't crack quite so much when the vehicle ignites its engines. But very good question. If anyone has any input, go for it. Either way, thank you, Michael, for the $20.
I've only seen photos and or video of people working on them, but you can't tell from that distance.
and it looks like I'm getting told in our back channel that Mary has clips of the damage to the heat tiles. It looks like some of them got chipped from yesterday's static fire in the daily video that is either live already or about to go live. I am trying to figure out which one it is. I think about to go live. So we do have a daily video from Mary with all of the content from today, and in that video you can see the damaged heat shield tiles from yesterday's static fire. So if you are not already, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you never miss an update from Mary, because every single day in Boca Chica something happens. That is the rule.
It's going live after the stream, Michael. Brady just told us.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
right after the stream ends, you know where to go.
And I was going to bring that up on the screen so y'all could see it, but I'm not going to. If you'd like to see the cracked heat shield tiles, stay tuned for the daily video and make sure you don't miss it.
Nice.
It's disgusting. DOS is disgusting. Jeez.
Let's see, Mr. Bonkers, thanks for the €5.49. Some money to get me back to Boca. Hopefully I won't get stuck there again. Thank you, Mr. Bonkers, for the support for the whole channel. And me getting back to Boca for SN15. Oh, goodness. You guys, it's done 2 static fires now. I should probably start going back to Texas soon.
I think it's
Yeah, about
time,
that
Jack.
time.
Yeah, I might have to fly for this one. We'll see. I get my second stab tomorrow, so I think I'll be comfortable flying after that. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll drive. Gotta be safe still. All kinds of weird variants going around, but definitely want to be safe, but don't want to miss SN15. So we'll see how that plays out. But thanks for the support, Mr. Bonkers.
Edison Light Globes wanted to know, so once Starship becomes a second stage, which they're talking about once it actually goes orbital, the sea level Raptors will only be used for a moment when landing, ?
I think they'll also burn during ascent in order to minimize gravity losses. Is that correct? Somebody smarter than me?
I shouldn't answer just because you said that, but I'm just guessing. I was speculating the other day when it was the solo DOS stream that they would use all 6 engines during ascent to get that extra oomph to get into orbit. So I don't think they're just for landing. I do think that they'll be used on ascent, but that's just me speculating and doing it in Kerbal for the last 7 years.
There was a solo DOS stream and I missed it?
There was? Oh, yeah. Yesterday, I was the only one doing commentary for like the last 45 minutes or so. Everybody ditched me, and I'm just like, fine, I'm going to keep doing comments myself.
Oh, sorry, bud.
It's all good.
I was in
Y'all were
Delta
busy.
Heavy Land.
Yeah, y'all were busy out at Vandenberg, and everybody else had to go, so I held it down for the end of the stream while we were waiting for the road to open, and then Thomas came in at the last second and helped out, too.
Nice.
Well, if anyone had to do it, I think you were the person with the most experience.
That's
For
okay.
Sure.
One of these days, we are going to get you to play Kerbal on the NASASpaceflight main channel. I keep thinking about that, and it needs to happen.
I'm slightly disappointed it hasn't already happened. I mean, even just to show what's going on. I mean, if we hadn't had so much to show for the Delta Heavy stream, you could have mocked up some sort of KH-11 payload, and when ULA cuts their feed and when we can't see it anymore, we could have launched that, KH-11 into orbit via simulation. That would have been fun, huh?
I've done that in Kerbal. I built a Delta. I called it the Deltish 4 Heavy. It's not really a Delta 4. It's just Deltish. for heavy, and Patrick from ULA, who does some of the call outs sometimes, he actually joined me on my Twitch stream, and he did the call outs as if it was a real Delta 4 while I was flying it in Kerbal. I've got that video up on my YouTube channel.
That's
Um,
amazing.
Oh,
Please
yeah.
link that.
Favorite stream of yours. Wait, he
Oh,
did it for
really?
Delta 2, right? He did it for Delta 2, didn't he?
I've got one for Delta 4. I had some other guests on for Delta 2, but the
Or
one
was
I'm
it
talking
Tori?
about is...
You had Tori do one too, right?
I had Tori. Tori came on and talked about the cislunar space and ACES and that sort of stuff. That was
But
an
didn't you
old...
Am I crazy, or did you have Tori call launch too? Maybe you just had him do a countdown or something. I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
the one where Patrick Moore did the live commentary of the launch in Kerbal is one of my favorite streams of yours, because it's literally the same guy that does, or at least used to do, the ascent commentary for ULA. So it sounds just like a normal ULA webcast, except instead of an actual Delta 4 heavy launching, you see DOS playing Kerbal.
Yeah.
It's delightfully nerdy.
I'll find the link to that real quick. It's really cool because it's literally just the Kerbal game in the background, and it's the actual... It sounds like legitimate callouts, and he's like, and the vehicle now weighs sort of half its weight. Like, he Kerbalizes it a little bit for us.
So if anyone from ULA is watching, first of all, you don't have to admit to watching a Starship stream. But second of all, if you want to email us, you have one of your launch commentators come on the stream, do some call-outs of a Delta 4 heavy launch on the NASA Spaceflight channel. We would love to make that happen.
That would be
Also,
cool.
we would love a better viewing spot for the final Delta Heavy from Vandenberg. Whenever that happens in the next 2 years, somewhere we could actually see it when it launches would be great.
Anyways, I think we just got a super chat from a good friend of the channel, Jack. I think Marcus sent the super chat. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, there we go. Wow, $50 from Marcus House. Thank you so much, Marcus. We got
Wow.
Marcus in the house.
What a
Oh,
guy.
God. I hate myself. We have Marcus in the house.
Oh.
I'm sorry. He's probably heard that one a million times.
Not again. Probably thinking.
But seriously, thanks, Marcus, for your work in helping, everything that's going on be sort of discernible by people. Your videos are helpful, and same way I'm sure a lot of people find our videos helpful. So thanks for the support, bud.
And Banjo just wanted to say thanks for the coverage of the arrival of SLS. Yeah, that was great. It was a good day. It was
Indeed.
really cool seeing it show up and knowing that it's going to be integrated with those already stacked solid rocket boosters in the VAB. That's going to be a beautiful thing to see.
It was the Parker Sorta probe on the Delta 4 Heavy. That's the name of the mod. The Parker Sorta probe on the Delta 4 Heavy.
I love it.
Y'all mind if I link that up in chat?
Oh, please blast it in the chat 10,000 times for all I care.
Oh, I found that highlight on my Twitch channel. That's I'm K-Space Academy, and I'm putting that in the chat there. That is that video I was talking about with Patrick Moore. And if you go back to the beginning of that video, he actually does the call-outs. And I keep my mouth shut, and I just fly the rocket. So it's me awkwardly being on camera and not saying anything while he called in and did the call-outs. That was so much fun.
And I think back then, if I remember, you did not have a great way for him to see it in real time. But now that we have more experience, we could do it where they could at least pretty much see what's happening in real time.
Oh, yeah, this is back before we were doing that. He was
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
dialed in on the phone,
Yeah.
and he had to watch the stream. And this was 3 years ago this happened.
So-
He did, so we could do
We
so
need
much
to
better
do-
job.
We need to do the redo better one.
Yeah,
So,
I am completely game to do that.
So I was doing something in our back channel, but we have robots for a reason. It sounds like Mary might go home and start getting these clips uploaded as quickly as possible so we can get that awesome static fire video. Again, we have the daily video coming up just after the stream ends to Mary with the heat shield tiles from the previous static fire that got damaged. And then Mary is also about to upload all her clips from today's static fire. So we'll have more angles in a separate video that you can continue the 1 or 2 engine static fire debate in the comment section of that video if you want. But lots of content from Mary. 1 day, a live stream, and 2 videos for the second day in a row.
Peter, thanks for the new membership. George, thanks for the new membership. Greg, thanks for the €5.
Jack, I want to know about this bacon webinar you're supposed to do.
Oh, it's coming up next week. Just wait. It's going to be all about how oven bacon is superior, and anyone who makes microwave bacon is just wrong.
Oh yeah.
Can we like grill some bacon in the back of the rover or something, Jack?
I could.
I mean, I just want like Starship in the background. I want you to go park on the side of the road by Starship, and we'll do a bacon webinar roadside on Highway 4. How's that sound?
I mean, to be true to form, I would have to get a little mini oven or something because I'm all about oven bacon. But I mean, I can make it happen on a camp stove, and we can discuss the pros and cons and the finer points of searing mammal flesh. But
Oh, jeez.
but yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I went coneheads there for a minute. But yeah, read a couple more of these. I mean, you guys got me thinking about bacon now. Darn it. Let's see, Paul. Some of these are like an hour old, so I apologize that it's taken us a bit to get to them. I mean, there was static fire, there was replays, all kinds of fun. You know how it goes. But Paul, thank you for the $5. Nathan, thank you for the $5. If I click it, it should go. There we go. If you could put any fruit on the first orbital flight of Starship, what would it be and why? Starfruit. Max, thank you for the £5. They say, do you think the FAA will try to get launches cleared faster now and that NASA is backing SpaceX or HLS? I don't think so. I think the FAA is going to do its job. The Great Canadian Guy, thank you for the $5 Canadian. They say static fire tests are usually only to light up the engines to make sure they're functional. Hot fire tests are full throttle tests. I guess that makes sense. We were talking about how long the static fires are and how they're pretty short earlier. Debbie Atkinson, thank you for the $4.99. They say, why are the heat shields in certain spots? Is there something special under them? Thanks, guys. Great work. It's because they're slowly adding more tiles and testing them. So eventually they'll be all over the bottom of the vehicle or the windward side. But right now they're just in patches. And I'm not quite sure what the material is under them, but you can bet it's probably something pretty special. Probably has some interesting thermal properties. Snow Skim, thank you for the... Or Snow Ski Master, thank you for the $20. They say, what do you think about Jeff Bezos' challenge? I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. If anyone else wants to, go for it.
Nope.
Cool. Well, thank you, Snow Ski Master, for the support. We'll just have to see how all this plays out. Donald Clark, thank you for the $5. I mean, I do think it's important to think about things like, what was it, with the Apollo program, the original Earth orbit rendezvous of the whole thing was, originally considered crazy, and they finally went back to Earth orbit rendezvous instead of launching as one monolithic vehicle and stuff like that. I mean, there's all kinds of ways in which we look back in history now, and Apollo was like, oh wow, that's just this clear-cut amazing thing where we went to the moon, Apollo 11. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on the way to that having been a thing. So this is just another bump in the road, hopefully just a little pebble, and hopefully we get some stuff on the moon here soon, maybe by 2024.
This kind of stuff is
one
not,
way or another. Go for it.
It's not abnormal. I mean, companies sue to get what if they feel like something hasn't been fair, they can start a lawsuit. It doesn't mean they're not friends with the government or whatever. SpaceX has had to have lawsuits with various entities of the government throughout the years, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to work together.
Yep.
And if Blue Origin wants to challenge the decision, then they have every right to do so.
Yep, SpaceX has challenged decisions. Blue Origin can too. We'll see if the government finds that challenge has merit. Donald Clark, thank you for the $5. They say, remember Glenn, Gemini, Apollo, moon landing? This still thrills me. Right? This is pretty amazing to watch. I'm still kind of mind-boggled at the kind of views that we were able to have of Starship testing, given the kind of views that you're able to get at, say, Blue Origin's test facility in Texas, or Spaceport America in New Mexico, or even Vandenberg. Sometimes we get spoiled by the Starship views. They're really, really amazing. And it stands to reason that they, kind of are mind-blowing. Snow Ski Master again with another $5, asking if Bezos can win the challenge. I don't think we're going to rule in on that or not. We'll see what happens. Wayne Fox, thank you for the $4.99. Scott Halstead, thank you for the $9.99. Asking about how to fill the header, talking about how to fill the header tanks. We were talking about that earlier. And how they'd be able to refill them in orbit. I'm not quite sure. I mean, there's Starship refueling in orbit. It's a big conundrum. I don't know if anybody wants to touch on that really quick, but either way, Scott, thank you for the support.
Didn't they win a contract with NASA to study in orbit fueling? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, something like that.
In orbit propellant transfer, I think. So like moving fuel between the tanks in orbit. But I was going to say is that right now, how is the vehicle connected? All of the ground support equipment is going through the base of Starship. So they can fill all the header tanks and whatnot from the base of the vehicle. And that just means another Starship tanker has to attach to the current umbilical connection area at the bottom of Starship.
Yeah, and that's just 2 vehicles docking in space. We've got a lot of experience with that. So it's something that can be done, but obviously it's not just, oh, send 2 of them up and all of a sudden we know how to do it. It's going to take some testing and developing, and it'll be done. I don't think that's something that's beyond the realm of possibility.
Yeah, and if, like we were talking about, there's like a little pump that pumps the fuel from the main tank into the header tank or whatever, presumably that would work in space too, or if it's pressure fed from the tank farm, then it could be pressure fed from the fueling vehicle that is, pushing the fuel over to the fuelee vehicle or infuelation. I don't know. What do you call a vehicle that's being fueled? I guess you call it that. The vehicle that's being fueled.
Yeah, I like fuelee.
Yeah, thank you. Jake Curry.
Fuelee, yeah.
Yeah, precisely. Thank you. It's very scientific terminology here. Jake Curry, thank you for the $5. They say it'd be awesome to see a double Starship photo, likely, or double SLS photo. Sometimes how we would see 2 shuttles at Canaveral. Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. Although I guess 2 SLSs, like you said, would be pretty unlikely. But you never know what the future holds.
Because there's only 1 pad for SLS as it is right now.
But there could be 2. No, I don't know. You're right. You're totally. It's a good note. And it looks like we have a new daily video on, which includes those cracked tiles from yesterday's static fire that we were talking about. So yeah, we got that video up, and make sure you go and take a look at that as soon as you are able to. Thanks to Brady for getting it cut, and thanks to Mary for shooting it. Jim, thanks for the $5. Talking about bacon. Psychotic Wolf, thank you for the new membership. Musical Wolves, thanks for the $2. Jacob, thanks for the $5. Get to 380 subs. That'd be crazy if we had 380,000 subs. We're almost there. Luis, thank you for the Canadian $2. Why second test? Because SpaceX really wants SN15 to land. Seth, thank you for the $10. They say, thanks, NSF. Just a couple bucks to express my gratitude. Well, thank you, Seth. It's really appreciated. Seriously, everybody, thank you for all the support. It makes all the difference in what we can do. And it enables us to continually aim higher and do even more. Oh, we did just go 380K subs. Hooray, 380K subs. You were all here for it. Somebody ring a bell. Ding, 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 ding. Joel Blackman, thanks for the $5. Peter Ross, thanks for the $5 Australian. Yeah, I probably did say I'd shave my beard if they landed a Starship. I kind of hope they do, because I kind of want to shave. Jeff M, thank you for the $5. They say, it's another... That was the theory on the header tank fill. I think we already did that one. Johnny Spacer, thanks for the $2. Perms, thank you for the $1.99. I do think SN15 has a good chance at landing, but I thought that about all the previous ones, so who knows. Rough Riders Show, thanks for the commentary on Fleet Cam earlier. Thanks for the $5, Rough Riders. Justin, thanks for the $5. It looks like that one that fired is in line with another engine. Interesting.
Here we go again.
Yeah, I know
Here
Michael
we go again.
I know Michael was asking for comments in chat there, so we were still going through some pretty old super chats here. We were behind. Yeah. Brian Banks, thank you for the $10. And yeah, Brian coming in on the side of single engine static fire. Thank you there, Brian, for the support and the thoughts. Looks like they're holding pressure longer for additional testing. Yeah, maybe. We're also getting into the end of the window here, so I'd presume to see that they're going to safe this vehicle and open the road here in the next 30 minutes or so, based on road closure times.
Looks like both frost lines are gone.
Yep.
I would say that, yeah, they're probably, my guess, and I don't know nearly as much as y'all, but my guess is they're probably done for the day.
Yeah, same. GK, thanks for the $5. Area, thank you for the $5. Nose cone test stand. I don't know. We don't know what it's testing other than the nose cone. I'm not quite sure. We know exactly what it's testing. Tech Brigade, thank you for the $5 and the snarky comment about Senator Bill Nelson, soon to be NASA administrator. And Ash Mead, thank you for the $50. That is a huge
Wow.
amount of money, Ash. Thank you so much for supporting our stream. It's very awesome of you. And with that, I am going to leave it to you guys. I'm going to jump off, and I need to get back to LA. I'm still kind of up north near Vandenberg, so at some point I'm going to have to drive back to Los Angeles and get ready to head out to Texas. And if this was a good static fire, well, you all know what comes after a good static fire. It's a flight. So that's next up. Hopefully, we'll have to keep our eyes open for FAA NOTAMs and flight NOTAMs and road closures, and read all the tea leaves. But hopefully, a flight here of SN15 soon. And with that, I am gonna leave it to y'all.
Right on, Jack.
Jeez, who's gonna do the outro then, Jack? You just bail on us.
Yeah, I'm just totally. I abandoned my son. I abandoned my boy.
There's nobody here with the experience that it takes to lead us out.
Well, Steven, it's up to you. You're gonna have to go.
Are we calling it? Is that what we're doing? Are we gonna go ahead and wrap it?
I think so. I mean, we're 23 minutes away from the end of the window. Starship has been nice and stable for a pretty significant amount of time here. We're not expecting another test. It's just sort of like they're taking this longer time, but I don't think the road is open yet. I do think that we were probably getting ready to spool this down because we've got the daily video on, which you're going to tell people about, right, Steve?
Yeah. So, well, thank you for joining us today. We've experienced what we think was probably a successful static fire. We're still waiting to hear from Elon if he's gonna tweet. Maybe he'll say one way or the other. We think one engine. There are some people out there that disagree with that. That's okay. We can disagree in the world of science.
SpaceX knows. They know how many engines they fired.
Yeah, there are people that know definitively without all of our guessing. But yeah, like Doss said, we have the daily video up, and here soon will be the replay video of the static fire today. And so make sure you're subscribed. Tell your grandma to subscribe. Tell your cousins and tell all your friends to make sure they're subscribed, because at some point we're going to have to hit 400,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I just put that link into chat. If you want to go straight from this live stream into the daily video that we just released, there is that. That's actually the tweet that has the link to the video in. It looks like I copied, but that
retweet the tweet on your way to the daily video.
That's why I use Michael. That's why I use the tweet instead of just linking straight to the video. Come on, I just wasn't going to be so obvious about it.
And make sure you're following Mary if you're not already. Or was that a Mary tweet or was that a Chris?
That was actually Brady. He released the video.
Brady. Hey, make sure you're following Brady too. He's a phenomenal photographer. He doesn't know this, but I look up to him a lot. He's a very good photographer. So thanks for joining us today, everybody, and make sure you stay tapped in and keep your eyes peeled for all the information leading up to the flight. And we'll keep you informed here at NASASpaceflight. Anything else, Doss?
Well, did we say, some people were pointing out we just crossed over 380,000 subs on the way to 400. So that is... Y'all, thank you for keep showing up. I say it every time, but we are able to do this because y'all keep showing up to the streams. You keep watching the videos. Like across the board, I know everybody. Hey, there's Marcus as well. Marcus knows how it goes. You're able to keep doing this because people keep showing up. You're making videos. You're doing live streams. You're taking photos or street shots or whatever. You're able to do it because people keep showing up because it shows that people place value on it. They think it's something worthwhile they want to be a part of. So. Like you were saying, Steven, thank y'all for being a part of this and showing up and supporting what we do.
And a last-second super chat from Robin. I just one-upped my husband. So there's a cool $20. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
And with that, I guess we'll spool it on down. I don't have control of that.
Yeah, that's somebody else who has to click on that. But folks, I guess that's the end. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
But you can stay on the NASA Spaceflight YouTube channel and just keep watching videos.
You have to go to the other video to watch that while you're going. Michael's not going to know when to click on the outro.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm just sitting here waiting.
He's going to do it in the middle of us talking. He's like, all right, the stream's over. I'm rolling a video. Go ahead, Mike.
Just slowly fade us out.
Well, really quick, Doss. Here's a... oh, never mind.
You're going to talk over the intro video, Jack?
No. One thing we don't talk over.
pressure looks good. Following up. Roger, roll, Atlantic. Sliding downside speed off. Speed off.
Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these.